Hey, what's up you guys, welcome back to my another video. Today we're going to be reviewing this new Curren album, Collection Agency, and if you don't know how these reviews work, basically I play 3 of my favorite tracks of the project. I talk about why I like them, and then I basically do the same thing about my top 2 least favorite tracks on the project, and at the end I talk about the whole album in its entirety. Yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it with my first track, which will be Smiled on Me, and I'm just gonna play a tiny snippet of it because I'm really trying to get these reviews copyright friendly. And then if you want to play and if you want to watch me listen to the whole song with only a few cuts, then just check out the review. It dropped yesterday. But yeah, Smiled on Me, let's get it. Let's just fucking get straight into it. Okay, I'm just gonna play it for literally like 10 seconds.
Diamonds on my dial.
Damn.
The ancestor smiled on me. I got diamonds on my dial, homie.
Alright, so I'm just gonna leave it here. That was obviously a really short fucking snippet, but it's more to just remind myself what the song is about and to just give you guys a tiny idea of what I'm actually talking about, right? So first of all, as I have said a fucking shit ton of times on the reaction, the production on this album throughout are just fucking great, man. It's so good. I have to be honest though, I've been playing this album on my phone a lot because that's the most common way I play music, and this album does not sound as good on phone speakers as it does on headphones. And I know that's obvious, but the difference is quite big compared to most of the modern albums, right? So I have to say, Smiled on Me does not hit as hard on these iPhone speakers, man, because I just played it again and that shit is fucking banging on the headphones. I gotta say, Currency's got a great ear for beats, and he's also got a great ear for flows and what kind of delivery and cadence to use. Another thing that I mentioned in the reaction is the lack of lyricism on here. I feel like a lot of these lyrics are a bit too literal for me. And I know I sound like such an old head, you know, just caring about lyrics, but when it comes to people like Currency, it's like listening to a Kendrick album or a J. Cole album and just hearing super obvious stuff, nothing behind it, you know. I'm coming into that album trying to find some lyrical genius. When I done the Carti reaction, I did not pay attention to the lyrics at all. You know, I can switch the vibe up based on the artist I'm listening to. And for this one, I feel like Currency, he is the type of artist that needs a bit more lyricism. And I feel like, yeah, like I said, it's just a bit too basic for me in terms of that. So when it comes to my second pick on the project, I will have to go for I Don't Cool. Okay, I was really thinking which one to pick. Oh, actually, you know what? You know what? I think I'm going to change my mind, you know. I was planning on picking I Don't Cool, but Jermaine Dupri, I just realized that is a fucking banger, and I feel you know what, this one's gonna deserve it. So let's just play Jermaine Dupri as the number 2. Let's go.
How that shit feel, you not a quick deal. Pulled up on factory wheels with the racing gear. I could make $1 million appear.
Alright, so if we just pay attention to the lyrics, the one thing I remember is him saying, I went from hood rich to wealthy. Pandemic outside, I'm staying healthy. Okay, that's a cool line, I guess, but there's nothing behind it. It's super literal. I feel like it's something Uzi would say, but with a lot more energy. But yeah, I don't know why I'm still hating. These are meant to be my favorite tracks, and these are actually amazing tracks. You know, that sample of that saxophone in the background is fucking crazy. It's kind of subtle, you know, it's not really overpowering, but it gives it such a interesting aesthetic. He's talking about getting rich, coming from nothing, the pandemic a little bit, like I said. These are mainly the topics that he's touching on this project as a whole. So he's repeating himself quite a bit, which I don't fuck with, but in general, you know, when you take these 2 songs that I showed you, Smiled on Me and Closing Date, and you take them at face value, those are great fucking songs. The first one is usually actually the actual top of the list for me in terms of the project, and when it comes to this one, I feel like it's a clear winner. It's gonna be Misty.
Then I make her laugh, she ain't even know how good she had it. Until I smashed, I ain't been gone 5 minutes. She won't know if I'm coming back. Trying to lure me there with pictures of her wearing something skimpy, but I won't let her get me. Only that money could tempt me.
Alright, so that was Misty. I don't even know how long I played this song for. I feel like it was even less than 10 seconds. But yeah, you gotta play the song for yourself to really appreciate this, I feel like, because honestly, this is probably one of the best songs I've heard this year. It's only March, but so far, can't really think of any great songs that would compete with this just right now. Again though, when it comes to the whole project, it just talks about the same thing. This one is a bit better than the others because it talks about some other things. He's mentioning a woman that he feels like is only with him for the money, which is a topic that has been mentioned by thousands of rappers over the years anyway, so even that topic isn't really something new, but for this project it was something he hasn't touched on yet, so that was interesting. That was a bit of a switch up. The production, I mean, it's my favorite song on the project, and the project itself has great production, so you already know that this beat was going to be absolutely amazing and it was going to be the best on the album for sure. And it was, you know, and the fact that it wasn't just a simple loop, it was actually progressing, it was evolving throughout the track. You know, it's not crazy, but it's kind of subtle, but it creates such a great effect. And only thing I'd improve here is maybe I would switch some of the flows from Currency, but it's honestly, it's something I would just nitpick. It's nothing serious. I feel like honestly this song is quite close to being perfect. If I had to rate it, I don't really like rating like particular songs, but if I had to rate it, it'd be like in the 9 zone. Whereas most of these songs will be like in the 7s to like a 7.5, 8, and the 2 songs that I showed you before as well will be like an 8. But now, I already kind of hated on a lot of these songs, even though they're meant to be the better ones. Now it's actually time for my 2 worst songs on the project. So I already know exactly which ones these are going to be, and if you watch the reaction then you probably know as well. First one, Ferrari Engine. It's only 1 minute 25 seconds. Let's just get straight into it. Honestly, I wish I would never hear this again.
Niggas duck snitches, I never been able to trust bitches. Used to envision pulling up in them, and then I really did it. I never get into no sucker gimmicks. I came up nothing to something really.
Alright, so that was Ferrari Engine, and you know what, I'm gonna be honest, I actually was kind of too harsh just before playing this song. This song isn't as bad as I thought, but it's still bad for me. First of all, it's fucking short as hell, and it actually fully ends at around 50 seconds, okay? And then it's just 35 seconds of just a beat or like some ad-libs and shit. That is fucking dead. That is just dead. Why? I feel like the structure is the main part of why I don't like it. The beat is a bit better than I thought it was, because at the start I thought it was fucking horrible. The way it is mixed is pretty bad. Like the high end is way too fucking harsh, like I said in the reaction. But honestly, I don't think this is too bad now. It's just the structure of it, and the beat isn't as good anyway as like some of the other songs, so it's definitely the weaker track. It's definitely the weakest on here, along with the next one, which will be Above the Law.
Yeah, oh man, just like every time. I wanna war, they wanna talk, the cause Paul. Playing ball about to take off, but when we land off a Buffalo, at a level that they never saw, ain't worried at all. They don't wanna.
Okay, so that was Above the Law. I think I remember on the reaction I said it was kind of like something like Eminem would make in like the 2010s. You know, that kind of pop type rap. Not gonna lie, I don't really hear that anymore today. That's why these reactions are important. That's why these reviews are important, because for the reaction you can literally see the raw first impression, whereas here you can actually hear what I think, you know, after I had some time to really sleep on it at least and just think a bit more about these songs, because my opinion is kind of changing on at least Above the Law, because Ferrari Engine still is pretty bad. Above the Law, it's better than I thought it was by quite a big amount, but I'm still gonna stick to my opinion. It's still way worse than any other song on here. So, you know, I feel like the piano isn't there. You know, it doesn't really do it for me. The beat isn't too good. I feel like the ad-libs are a bit too messy. There's a bit too much. It makes it kind of muddy. Currency's flows are just super weird at times. I feel like they're not really following a bounce. And when it comes to the overall project, it's really strong. I've got to say, it is a strong album. Lyrically, as I said many times now, is way weaker than I thought it would be, and way less impressive than I need it to be for me to really be considering this album as like a fucking great piece of hip-hop, you know. But in terms of the way it sounds, in terms of Currency's choices, when it comes to flows, the cadence, he has hit many more times than he has missed. Even the songs that I haven't picked today for my top 3 are still great, you know. Arrival was pretty good. I Don't Call, I was obviously thinking between I Don't Call or Jermaine Dupri as my top 3. So that just shows that there was a lot of songs to choose from for my top 3, which is a good sign. Obviously, Closing Date is a great song as well. Shout Out is a great song. The biggest problem here, I feel like these songs don't really match together. They don't work as a project. It's more of a playlist. And I don't really know how I should rate it based on that, because the songs themselves are great. It's just that I'm reviewing an album, not a playlist. So in terms of the rating for this project, I think I'll give it an 8, kind of leaning towards the 7.5. So I'm kind of being generous with this 8 rather than being stingy. But yeah, I feel like if these songs just worked a bit well, if there was like an underlying story behind all of them, and maybe there is, but I just didn't catch it. But if there is, this could easily be like a 9. So this has a lot of potential. Currency has a lot of potential. He's been in the game for ages anyway. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. And this will be it. Check out all my links in the description to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Spotify. I post new videos every single week, at least 1 or 2 if there's a big album dropping. And I post a new song every other Friday, with my last one being out last Friday. So please check that out as well. And yeah, this will be it. Peace.